Hey, how you doing? My name's Bruce Rain from Braggers Creations, and I suddenly forgot how to live stream a moment ago. Welcome to everyone who has turned up. I apologise for the lateness. I normally live stream a little bit earlier than this, but things to do, places to do, things to be. I had a very busy day yesterday. I repaired a vacuum cleaner, a ceiling fan, and the door to the oven. Today, I decided I wanted to make a nice, yummy breakfast, so I did that, and it turned out to be brunch, and now here I am. So, a quick hello. Nate is here, Joe is here, Sad Mac is here, Sam, hello, Tom Barber, Canadian Computer Collector, which means that's Dan. Thank you very much for joining. Who else we got? The House of Moth. We have got, I think, let me scroll down. I've got to scroll down. Oh, there, look, okay, here we go. Craig Lilly, Retro Techie, Christian is here, is Christian Palco. Joe Williams is here, Toby Q. Scrolling down some more. Beer Float, Daniel Flakela, Flakela. I'm sure you've told me how to pronounce it before. Steve is here, thank you very much. And Artur Fiddler is here as well. If I missed anyone, I apologise. It was not personal. I did skim down the list fairly quickly. I didn't read any of the stuff. So if there's anything there of importance that you need me to know, you might need to type it again, because I'm not sure if I'm going to get a chance to go back and read all that stuff again. Now, I did happen to see one little comment from, I think it was Nate, and it said something along the lines of, I wonder if Bruce is going to get distracted today. And the answer to that is, I don't know. Maybe. Let's see if we can get some funky grooves going on here. Nope. Oh, that's interesting. How do I do that? How do I get it to? How? Nope. See, that's how we used to do it in the olden days. I'm not going to get distracted. No, I am not going to get distracted. I am going to look at some things here that I've been meaning to look at for a while. As everyone may or may not know, I did get slightly distracted about the old Classic. So last weekend, or possibly even a little bit earlier than that, I was planning to do a live stream of what I was planning to do today. And I had to change it because basically Kai Robinson rocked up and we did some more diagnostic work on the Macintosh Classic and ended up turning into part 3 of the Macintosh Classic build video. Have now done part 4. It's all finished. It's all fantastic. It's all moved along. Wonderful. And so then now, but these repairs are still sitting around waiting for me. Okay. Okay. Yeah, no, I am going to be doing repairs today, don't worry. Buy G4 from Yikes, upgrade beige and blue, white. Good luck with that, Archie. Max, hello. Have you done the open core plunge yet, Max? I saw you asking about open core the other day. Do have a look at Jay from House of Moth. Have a look at his guide. He updated it to because there are open core guides all over the internet. Some of them, they're like about 50 steps long. It's not like that anymore. If you just go to the House of Moth, Jay's guide for open core, he has got just the steps you need to take, and it is literally, I even skip some, but that's just because I'm me. Okay. Now, so I've got to do this thing. Joe just reminded me. I've got to just go here and say,
smash that like button.
Now, I have to just get rid of the other views for the moment because I do need to do a little bit of tidying here. When I was doing some of these other repairs the other day, like in particular the oven door I was repairing yesterday, I made such a mess in here. And I need to clear a little bit, just a little bit of space for me to do some other things. I was repairing something else the other day and I accidentally flicked a resistor off the board and it hit my belly. And I was like, oh no. And so I'm crawling around on the floor looking for this little tiny resistor. And then later on I found that it bounced from my belly back up onto the table. So, the power of the belly. Where am I going to put these? I want a plastic bag for them, but I don't have one. So a plastic bag, I'll get that later. There we go. How's everyone doing? Everyone doing good? Everyone feeling healthy and fit and all that sort of stuff? I had a good old sleep in this morning, I'll tell you. I had to get up very early yesterday. 6 a.m. Who does that on a Saturday? Only fools do that. We can go. That needs to go into, this is my, goes into the battery bombed boards. They're the donor boards that I raid for other things. Dana is here. My goodness, I haven't spoken to Dana in donkey's years. Don't speak to Dana as much anymore. It's the crazy guy got a job. I don't know. Some people. So he's not on the Mac Yak show anymore. Such a disappointment. And oh, while we may have had Dan yesterday, we're still missing Dana. I just want to check something here very quickly. 20 people watching at the moment. I don't expect big numbers today. I haven't done anything in the way of promoting this live stream, just mainly because of time constraints and stuff. And it's probably going to end up being really dull and boring anyway. I made these. Aren't these great? You'd be looking at them thinking, what on earth are they? I'll show you. Let's just say for argument's sake, I want to work on a board. Here's one. Here's one I prepared earlier. This is a Macintosh classic board. No, this isn't the remade one. This is just a normal one. And let's just say I'm wanting to work on this side of the board. When I put it down on the table, all these components here make it all wobbly. Wobble, wobble, wobble. So I made these little things, little legs. You just clip onto the side, like this, like this, and like this. And then it sits on the table, nice and flat. What have I been doing here? Nice and flat on the table. I'm very happy with that. Need a little quick shout out to Joe. Joe, if you want to put a link, are you? I don't even know if Joe's a mod on my channel. I need to check. Because I'd like you to put a link to your little Ethernet things in the channel. I think that's good for the Vintage Mac people, good for the Vintage Mac community. YouTube, that's the thing we're on at the moment, isn't it? Yes, indeed. Oh, Lewis Rossman's live at the same time. I shouldn't have said that, should I? Everyone's going to rush off and look at him now, because everyone loves Lewis Rossman. Joe. You have the Mystic Wrench. Awesome. Yeah, so please, so just for folks who don't know, Ethernet is something that Joe has put together. He's basically, someone already did some documentation on this stuff, and he's basically taken it to the next level and gone and made some boards and put the components together. He's now got a kit for these little Ethernet things. He's even made the STL file available if you want to print yourself a case. And for those who don't know, Ethernet allows you to make your own little local talk adapter, a little dongle type thing that hangs out the back of one of the serial ports, and allows you to choose Cat5 Ethernet cable instead of the old phone cable that it used to use, or the very expensive Apple Grey stuff. So just as I say, for the vintage Mac people out there who might want to get a little local talk network set up with some of their older pre-Ethernet Macs, grab a few of those little Ethernet things. I know I'm going to be grabbing some because I don't have any phone net or local talk connectors at all, not one. And I would like to be able to set up a little local talk network. Mackenzie's bicarb of soda, very important stuff. That and super glue, and you can make yourself the most amazingly strong stuff when you're wanting to do repairs. When I was repairing the vacuum cleaner yesterday, that's what I used. Super glue and bicarb of soda. Joe, thank you very much for putting that in. Thomas Armstrong, hello. I don't think I said hello to you. Michael's Workshop, hello, how are you? What else we got? Now, look, I just wanted to mention something here very quickly for everyone that is here. I've got 33 people here now, so I think there's enough people here for me to be able to make this announcement. There's a very good friend of mine in the chat here at the moment, and his name is Jay from the House of Moth. He is currently sitting on, 895 subs? Is that right? Does that sound about right? About 895 subs, something like that? So he's like 5 subs away from hitting 900. So if everyone is feeling, sort of feeling energetic, and just feels like jumping across quickly to the House of Moth channel, Jay, please feel free to drop a link in there to your channel and giving him a little subscribe if you haven't so far. Help him along onto that that big old 900. He's getting closer to the 1,000. And of course, once you hit 1,000, you can start getting some of that sweet, sweet YouTube money. Don't spend all those cents at once. Okay, there's a lot of bicarb soda on here. This is another repair I've been doing recently. This is a repair to the dishwasher. This motor here, it's kind of like a little impeller going on in here, and this thing fell off, and I've glued it back on, and hopefully it's secure enough. I have bought a new motor because ultimately I just wanted to be able to plug it in and leave it. And this one, but I'm going to keep this as a spare, as a just in casey. Now, there's a second half of it. I'm going to put this together so I can get it out of the way, and I can consider this a done job. Oh, crap. Where's the rubber grommet? Is that it? Nope. Oh, things. Let's get this out of the way. This is a really interesting thing here. This is a SCSI adapter for the old MacBooks and stuff like that. Sorry, PowerBooks. There's your SCSI port on the back there, which converts it into a normal SCSI on this side. This thing here kind of goes missing every couple of years. And we're right at the moment, right now, where it's a found thing. So a little while ago, this was a missing thing. Now it's a found thing. Now I need to try and find some way of storing this so that it doesn't go missing every few years. Let's just put it somewhere there and forget about it. Let me see if I can find the rubber thing so I can put this thing together, and then we're going to get on to a Macintosh SE or SE30, just in case anyone was feeling a little bit suspenseful about what I'm actually going to be working on. It is an SE and or an SE30. Put an AirTag on it. That's a good idea. Actually, you know what I need to put an AirTag on? I need to put an AirTag on this SCSI to SD. It is one of the most important things in my kit, and I lose it. I mean, I've got a spot that I normally put it, but sometimes, you know, if I'm not concentrating or whatever, I mean, you know, I put mushrooms in a really silly place the other day. I brought the shopping home and was unpacking it, and all of a sudden, I'm like, where the hell did I put the mushrooms? Where are the mushrooms? I've lost the mushrooms. There's only one place the mushrooms should be. Why aren't the mushrooms there? And I had put them in a really stupid place. We found them a couple of days later. They were still okay. Here we go. Found the rubber thing. Here's the rubber thing. This is the grommet. This is what's going to keep all the moisture where it needs to be and nowhere else. There we go. Look at that. Is that Bunny or Booney? I'm not sure. If it's meant to be Bunny, there's only one in there. But I'm going to assume it's like Booney. Hello. Okay. Old school ball and chain it. Yeah, I should. Yeah, I mean, I should just maybe attach it to one, because I mean, really one of the only computers I'm going to use it with is my PowerBook 540C. Probably should just leave it with the 540C. Big fan of the 540C, by the way, just in case there's anyone out there who's a lover of the old vintage Macs. 540C, I think, is a pretty darn awesome Mac. There we go. All right. One dishwasher motor from a, what do you call them? Bosch dishwasher. Good quality dishwasher, I think. Some people may disagree with me, but I have been extremely impressed with our Bosch dishwasher. So doing white good reviews now. Let's see if that gets me more subscribers. Okay, I just need to do this up. Who would have thunk it, eh? T10, T15. What do we got here? Quick trivia question. What T number do you need for pulling apart a compact Mac? Everyone here should know that one. What size Torx wrench? Okay, one motor, which may or may not work. Interesting thing about this motor, it is also the heater. So it plugs in here, heats the water as it's going through. Very nifty. Let's put it over here. This is my dishwasher motor pile. And then we're going to have a look at some SE stuff. Now, I want to do a test for starters on a Macintosh SE. So I'm going to set up the SE and we'll get the board and we'll have a little bit of a... Oh crap, do I even have the board here? Well, I'll have a look. I think I might have, but we'll see. If not, I might have to duck up and grab it. I know exactly where it is, but... No, it's down here. Oh, it's good. It's all right. It's already down here. Everything's fine. I'm a little bit disorganized today. I just want to let everyone know. And I also want to say thank you to Nate. Wish I could get my hands on a 540 32 megabyte RAM card. You and me the same. The one that I've got does have a little bit of extra RAM in it, but it's not the full jobby. It's just a little bit extra. I can't remember how much it is, but yeah, here's one of the silly things, and we have talked about this. We talked about this on the show and stuff like that on the Maciac show. This concept of the way vintage prices get higher and higher, and then sometimes they get lower and all that sort of stuff. But I had a while ago, a long time ago, many years ago, I bought 3 PowerBook 540Cs for next to nothing. Hardly cost me anything. I don't even remember where I got them from or how I got them, but I got 3 of them. They were so kind of, in my mind, not valuable that I pulled one of them apart and turned it into a digital photo frame. So that it just sat in the corner with the LCD and a little timber frame with the rest of the guts of the computer sitting behind it, and just scrolling, playing photos. So I made that a long time ago. And then I eventually, I think, gave away the other 2 for some unknown reason. And then, of course, when I started getting back into collecting, I'm like, I want one. And I then had to go and pay for one. So, crazy. I'm hoping, if all goes well, that I might be getting myself a Macintosh 2FX soon. Pretty special computer, that one. So, yeah, hoping. God, I've been ignoring the chat here. The criminally cheap prices or pie in the sky crazy high prices. Yeah, I know. CTR, hello. How many computers do you have in your collection? That's a very good question. I don't actually know. CTR, by the way, Crazy Tech Reviews. The mentally challenged tech reviews. So I think I honestly haven't counted in a while. I mean, it's probably somewhere in the vicinity of maybe 30. It might be more, because sometimes these things just seem a lot more than you think. I mean, the other day I had this situation when I was looking in the cupboard and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I want to grab my 7600. Oh, I've got 2 7600s. Why have I got 2 7600s? So did everyone go across and subscribe to the House of Moth, Joe the House of Moth? I want to go and see if he got any extra subs. I hope he did. I hope he did. Oops, fudge Rooney. Oh, House of Moth. If anyone ever wants to know where the name... Oh, look at what is it over there! 900 subscribers. Thank you, everyone, for getting Jay across the line there. That's wonderful. That's a big moment. A big round of applause for Jay, and thank you to everyone else. That's awesome. I like it. I just realised that I don't think my microscope... Oh, no, it's all good. Everything's fine. Okay, here we go. Just cracked the 900. Well done, Jay. Awesome. So, yes, so he's going to be getting himself some of that sweet YouTube money. Now this, people may or may not recognise this. This is a Macintosh Classic memory riser. The Macintosh Classic comes with 1 megabyte on board. Then you could get this board, put it on the side. Ow, hurt your finger. You get 1 megabyte on this board and then 2 slots allowing you to put in another 2 meg. So you can take it up to 4 megabytes. I really hurt my pinky finger. I have been chatting to Kai, famous Kai, the one with the large and delicious brain, and we are planning to make these, replicate these. So when people buy a classic board, they can buy this as well. So yes, that's the idea. Plastic is busted, so I'm probably going to have to sacrifice one of these, because these generally you don't get these with problems because they're a long way away from the battery. They generally, when there's a battery explosion, these things generally don't get impacted. So, you know, might be a lot of dead boards, but there are good ones of these floating around. But I'm pretty sure I have a spare one, which I'll probably sacrifice. I mean, when I say sacrifice, I'm going to take all these RAM chips off, but they can be used later. So I'll take all those off, take all the capacitors and resistors off, and sand it down, scan it in, and make a replica of it. I just want to say a big thank you. He's not here at the moment, but I want to say a big thank you to Kai Robinson, who very kindly stayed up until 3 a.m. his time yesterday to give me a one-on-one training on how to use Sprint Layout, which is the software he used to create the SE Reloaded and the Macintosh Classic Reloaded. So he taught me through all of the tools and how to get it to work and all that sort of stuff. And it's got me inspired. I want to go in and make some things, some stuff. Just love the idea of being able to make your own boards. It's just so cool. Yeah, so anyhow, I have cleared myself around about a Mac SE size space on the desk. So I think we can probably get going. If there is anyone here watching me for the first time, thank you very much for joining. I apologise. I'm usually far more interesting than I am today. But I'm a little bit out of practice. I haven't live streamed in a couple of weeks. So is it a 2-layer board? This one here, I'm pretty sure is only 2 layers. You know, generally when you're looking at the 4-layer boards, like for instance, so this is a classic. The classic is a 4-layer board. Essentially got most of the stuff happening on the front and the back, and then the 2 layers inside. One of them is for the 5-volt rail, one of them is for ground. So in actual fact, if you were to sand off all the fibre and just look at the copper inside, it's largely just a great big flat piece of copper with a few little holes in it for where these vias go through and don't want to actually touch those rails. So, you know, looking at this, there is actually a little line. You can see it when you hold these up to the light. But there's a little line that runs through the ground through here. If you hold them up to the light, can't see it. No. Yeah, you can sort of see it here, but you can't. I can, but you can't. But yeah, this one here, because there isn't likely going to be, you know, sort of like a big sort of 5-volt rail or something running in it, I would be absolutely amazed if this was more than 2 layers. So I think this is just the front and the back. So that'd be a good one for me to get started on, unless of course Kai wants to do it. So. I may not even need to sand it. This is very true. Yeah. I mean, you're probably right. I mean, these traces are pretty easy to see. The one advantage I think you have when you sand it is it does allow me to get a really nice, clear, sharp distinction between what's trace and what's background. But we'll see. We'll see. I might be able to do all right with it. If I can just, pull it apart, then I can potentially just put it back together again. What I'm not looking forward to is taking this RAM slot thingy off. Just ask my friend Jay from House of Moth how much he enjoys taking off RAM holders from boards. It's a nightmare, I tells you. I have the Macintosh Classic Revision 1.2B on its way to me at the moment. I should get it on Monday, which is tomorrow for me, because it's Sunday here. I got a super chat. Thank you very much for that. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce your first name. But I'll say thank you very much. Thanks for these videos. I'm learning to prep for working on my SE30. Battery gunk knocked all the mux chips off. Ooh. I'm going to be having a look at an SE30 today. So stay tuned. I won't do it straight away because I've got to keep you here, see. IFA. Okay. Thank you very much for letting me know. Now, I will forget, and please don't take that personally. I forget everyone's name, and I do it fairly for everyone. I don't pick out anyone specifically and say, I'm going to forget your name. I forget everyone's name. So, it's good. But for the moment, I can at least pronounce your name right now and say IFA. IFA. I might remember that. I might. You never know. I'll certainly remember the surname. I will definitely remember the surname for obvious reasons. Okay, so, and thank you very much for the super chat. I do appreciate it. I have to remind Brain Scratcher who I am. It's Lando's hair. Thanks for joining me, Lando's hair. Okay, all right. Oh, Starbuck Tech, hello. Thank you very much for joining. I am missing a lot of the chat here. I am so terrible at this today. I'm just, prattling on. All right, now let's see if I've got this Macintosh SE board that I want to have a look at. And then we can film the board. Let's just make sure there isn't any chicken poo anywhere. No chicken poo anywhere. So I do sometimes. The other day, the chicken has recently just got back into bad habits. There is a bit of chicken poo here. I'm going to grab that now. You don't need to see that. The chicken has gone into bad habits again. For a while, she used to come in here and sit on the microscope at night if I leave the door open, which of course I try not to do, but every now and again I forget to shut the door. And it's only one chicken, Bernie. She's the only one that's actually able to. She's small enough to fit through the fence, so she gets through onto the other side. And she's just been normal. She's just been staying out in that area all the time. But then just the other day, I come in here to grab something, and I just hear this, and I look over, and there she is, and she's been parked there for ages. So there's this mound of chicken turd just there. I mean, I've cleaned most of it up. There was just a little bit that I missed, so it's not ideal. It really is not ideal. Just letting everyone know that. So let's move to an un-chicken poo area and see if I can find this SE board, which may or may not be here. I think it might be out there. I'll grab it, and then we're going to have a bit of a play, and we're going to see if we can figure out why it's not working. So I'm just going to go grab it. You will still be able to hear me while I'm out here, because I do have the wireless thingy on here where I can walk about and be chatting to you. I can't read the chat while I'm here, of course, but I can still talk to you. And let's have a look here. SE, no, that's an SE30. We are going to be looking at this one though. What's that? That is a Mac 2. That is a 2VX, I think. That's a quarter 700, I think. What do we got here? That, my friends, is an SE. And I think this is the one I'm looking for. Yep, pretty sure this is the one I'm looking for. All right, let's begin. Oh boy, how about that then, eh? Oh. I will just check it. Oh wow, caught the microphone on the little thing here. I hope I've still got audio. Yes, I do. Oh, Christopher Bourne, hello. Okay. Those barbecue tongs on the pegboard. Yes, they are indeed. That's them just there. And they are for scooping into the ultrasonic cleaner and fishing things out. Waiting for the bottle of IPA to tip off the bench. Which one? This one? This one? It's actually flux remover. It's teetering there. It is definitely teetering, but it'll be fine unless I knock it off, which of course I could do. I buy the IPA in these size bottles, 5 litres. I've still got one unopened one, I think, just over there, which is good because I like having the stuff on hand. Right, let's just quickly check this. This is job number 83. I'm going to bring up the old job trafficking system here. And we are going to go, what is that? Something very weird just happened then, I feel. Show favourites bar, there we go, repairs. Let's log in. And 83. Let's do it, oops, we'll search for 83 because they do not come up in numerical order, they come up in the order of date I received them. 83, there we go, and it is flagged in my system as problems, and I have not logged I haven't logged any of the problems that I've had. Jeez, I'm so slack when I was doing that. Thankfully, I remember them. Yes, so let's just change the view here. We'll have a view looking down so you can see most of the mess. Top view, yay! Look at that. I can zoom in a little, and when I zoom in a little, you won't see as much of the mess. I have got, for some unknown reason, a rusty screw in here. I don't even know where that came from. Oh well. I've got a few little ram simmeroonies. Now, one of the awesome things about the Macintosh SE is it's very similar to the Macintosh Classic, and of course I've been learning a lot about the Classic, so I have in turn been learning a lot about the SE. That's a thing, there's some things, and that's a thing, and there's a thing, and another thing. Now, this originally came to me because the owner had cracked off the plastic of these RAM slots. So I replaced the RAM slots. That's what he asked me to do. I replaced the RAM slots very carefully. Did a wonderful job, I thought, even if I do say so myself. And what on earth was I doing there? So yeah, replaced the RAM slots, and then I've been having nothing but trouble with it. So of course, immediately my first thought is, it's a problem with the work that I've done. So yeah, and this is this the BBU chip? Big beautiful unit. The Baboo. So yeah, so immediately my first thought is that I've done something wrong. I've gone back and I've checked over anything. I haven't found any broken traces. I'm just getting very confused. And so what I've got a bit of a hunch. And I want to test that hunch today. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my trusty SCSI to SD, and I'm going to do a little bit of fiddling with it. Oh. Nope. About that one, I'm just going to disconnect something. See what happens. Plug in. There we go. All right, so let's fire up the old SCSI to SD utility. I assume everyone is familiar with the SCSI to SD. If you're not, please feel free to ask any questions about it, as I have lots of answers. They may not be the answers you're looking for, but they are answers nonetheless. Right, do I even have the SCSI to SD utility on this computer? This is a relatively new computer I've got down here, and I may not have even loaded it as yet, which is not a problem. I can always download it. Apple F S. Will you ever do some merch? Yes, I probably will. I'm actually thinking of doing some t-shirts. You know, I'll probably set up a little t-shirt shop with some things. And I'm probably going to sell some of my 3D things. No. SCSI 2SD version 5.2 universal. No, that's not what I want. So let's just grab the one we want. SCSI 2SD. Let's see if I can find. I need to get onto the. There we go. Under there. Oh, let's get the utility. Sorry, I apologise about this. See, files section for older boards. Downloads for there we go. And then we want Mac, because that's what I'm using. SCSI 2SD utility and downloader in here. Right. Just let me just check on the chat while I'm quickly doing this stuff. Zap, zap, boom. Hello. Welcome to the stream. At the moment, I am being spectacularly boring. Oh, cannot be open because it is from an unidentified developer. Right-click, open. Open. Thank you. Right, so it recognises this. I'm going to load from device. I'm going to be doing sort of a bit more SCSI 2SD info soon for folks. I have recently made some images, some disk images with System 7.0, System 7.5 and System 7.1 with a few apps and a few utilities and stuff all ready to go, all pre-formatted and in an image file saved with Bellina Etcher. And so basically if you have one of these things, you can get an SD card, 16 gigabyte SD card, put it in your computer, etch it with Bellina Etcher, take that card out, put it in here, boot, you're away. No fiddling, no mess, and never think. All right, so we've got this. What I want to do is I just want System 6. So let's get that there, we get that there, we get that there. I might actually just, no. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to save to device now. So essentially what I'm doing is I'm setting this up so that it's only got System 6 on it, no other system, so there can't be any confusion. I want boot into System 6. That is what I want. I want one of those buttons, cell to Mac plus PRAM battery converters. Now that was made by someone. It wasn't me, but it was, who is it? Who is it? Is it someone in here who did that? Is it someone in the chat who made the little, that looks like a little cat? They're awesome. Yeah, I want them. Why doesn't anyone talk about 7.61? I've heard rumours that it's a third-party update. Now, 7.6.1, if I remember this correctly, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but 7.6.1 I think was an update that had to come out for specific models. There were specific models of Mac, I think, and they obviously weren't quite going to 8 yet, because there's a lot of interesting stuff about System 8. And so 7.61 was kind of an update that was brought out so that it would work with some of the newer models, probably PowerPCs or something like that. But yeah, so that's what I think. And if I remember rightly, it's a little bit bloaty. Uses a fair bit of memory. It's not one of the best System 7s out there, which is one of the reasons why most people hang out with System 7.5 unless they have to. Neighbours being a bit noisy. Meow Toast, guy who made it, is Geeky Bit on YouTube, but it's not for the Plus, it's for the regular Mac PRAM batteries. Yes, it's for these. These ones here, where you can see there's a little battery holder there that would normally hold... God, what on earth is he doing next door? He's making a hell of a racket. Yeah, I've moved to my half AA batteries, which is just stupid. And it's a thing that just slots in sideways like that with a button cell battery. Really, really clever. Okay, so I'm going to go get a case, an SE case. Won't be a second, and we're going to fire this up and see what happens. I can actually fire this up in an SE30 case if I can't find an SE case. But well, sorry. Well, sorry. There's an SE. This is my SE. Just letting everyone know that. The board is obviously a customer's, but the SE is mine. So, right, here we go. I'm going to get my little extension-y cable. Shady Robot, hello. Newest system on the computer, but that it would run. Now, I think an earlier one, but still one that doesn't need enablers is best. So, I am generally a fan of trying to find the operating system that will run most efficiently on a computer. You know, for example, if you try and put, you know, some of the really new operating systems, you know, the computer ends up, you know, crawling. So it's my recommendation to, you know, just try and find one that works well and does what you want. So, for example, if you were running, say, a Macintosh Plus, I would probably recommend going System 6.08. Runs pretty swiftly on it. You could go up to 7.0. I wouldn't recommend going up to 7.1. If we're talking about an sort of 030, something like that, you know, maybe like a 2SI or a 2CI, I think 7.1 is about as far as you want to go. 7.5 is going to slow you down quite a bit. So, yeah, I mean, these are, you know, my opinions, but my opinions are generally the best out there. No one believes that. No one. Right, let's plug this in, and first of all, let's just see if it chimes. Beep, 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 beep. Plug, 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 plug. Ooh, that's no good. This is actually running an actual spinner hard drive. How about that then? It's got a little quantum in it by the looks of it. Now, let's see what happens. We ready? 3, 2, 1. I haven't got the speaker plugged in, so it's not going to make any noise. I should have a speaker extension, shouldn't I? But I don't. Okay, it's yep, it's all good. It's all doing its thing and that. So I'm just going to switch it off again. I'm going to plug this in and see if I can get it to boot to System 6. So let's fire him up. He has to do the RAM check, of course, because it's got 4 1 meg sims, which is as much as you can put in a Mac SE. That's it. That's the peak, as far as it goes. Yeah. It's just 761. 45 minutes to install on an LC. Yeah, no thanks. Once we're getting into 7.6, I think things are starting to get a little bit more kind of internet ready. Okay, it's booting. And we are booting into System 6, and hopefully, if my hunch is correct, which it may not be, but if my hunch is correct, this should boot. But it doesn't appear to be, so my hunch is not correct. So Okay, so essentially what's happening is just sitting like that. Sorry about the whole camera thing there. It's just sitting. Just sitting with welcome to Macintosh. That's all it's saying. Welcome to Macintosh. Now, I feel welcome. I do feel welcome, but I'd feel more welcome if it actually booted into the system. Yes, I've just suddenly realised that the thing you were referring to about the person was referring to the 3D printed battery thing was for the Mac Plus. I did figure that out eventually. But yes, the thing that I made, which was the little battery holder to stick 3 LR44s into a container and replace a Mac Plus battery, which I still haven't started selling on my website, which is just stupid. Yeah. All right. Okay. So we can fairly safely say now that it's not working. Now, the customer, I have no reason to think this customer is a liar. The customer said to me that this computer worked perfectly before. So I have to then assume that it is me that is at fault here. That when I replaced these RAM slots, I done something. Now I have tried this with only 1 meg of RAM in it, and I think and then obviously I've tried it with 4. I've had the same problem each time. So what are we going to do? What are we going to do with this one? So I'm going to just go in here and have a look. Oh, you know what? It's something that just occurred to me is just monumentally stupid. If I'm going to go in and properly test this, I should be doing it with the sprint files. I can't access them down here. I can't access them down here because it's a Windows application and I'm running on a Mac here and I don't have parallels or anything running down here. So, okay, well, we might be able to do it just with the schematic. So, we'll just see. All right. We could be easily jumping across onto the SE30 in a moment because I've got a sneaking suspicion this one is going to make more sense for me to work on when I can actually have the sprint layout file open and do all the testing with the testing. Right. This has got to be the slowest start for any of my streams. I mean, I have been going now for 48 minutes. I've got 42 people watching. Thank you everyone for watching. And I have done nothing. Nothing. Apart from playing a nice little tune on my Casio keyboard. Okie dokie. Excuse me. Someone sent me a message. I need to reply at some stage, but I won't do it now. That would be rude of me. There we go. Going back, going back, going back, going back, going back, going back, going back. Wow, going back a long way. Going back. I'm just going back over a conversation I had with Kai over this computer, and he gave me a suggestion of something I should try. Nope. God. But of course, I've been having so many chats with Kai lately that this conversation is a long time ago. Oh my goodness. Talking about people. No. Mhm. 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 This is really a long time ago. I've got TCI Quadra 700 that I'd like to fix as well. Okay. Gosh. Well, gosh. Okay, here we go. Down pin 21 of Sim 1. Okay, and R39A and R48 check value. So check the via on pin 21 of Sim 1. That's Sim 1. Let's go to the top here and I'll just check some of this now that I have this information. I can stop searching for it. Just looking. Why anyone would want a classic or classic 2 if they can get an SE30? I would agree with that. I would say that the SE30 is a more desirable machine than a classic or classic 2, but they're also a lot rarer. Classic and classic 2s are everywhere because they were cheaper and they were sold in schools and in homes as well because they were sold as more of a budget machine. So there are classics and classic 2s everywhere, but the number of SE30s is getting pretty slim these days. So yes, I would always say an SE30 over a classic or classic 2 for sure. Now let me just put my spectacles on and excuse me, Sim 1, and which one is pin 1? Oh Jesus, shut it. I was actually doing some recording last weekend and excuse me, and oops, and doing this bloody building something, and it made it so hard for me because I kept on having to re-record stuff. So if I was to assume pin 1 is the one on the left, I should be counting this way, and he done said getting angry with the noise. If you owned a classic, you'd be trying to put an SE30 board into it. Good luck with that. There's a slight size difference. SE and SE30 look more expensive. They were more expensive. Okay, what did I say? Sim 1. What did he say? He said pin 21, I think he said. Pin 21. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. That doesn't seem right. It's just going from there to there. Then where does he go? I don't want to have to take this off again. I've already taken it off once before. Let's come on. This why grow a brain, Bruce. Open a schematic. Hope everyone's hearing that lovely sound of power tools coming from my neighbours. Making me just a little bit annoyed. There are a couple of things you have to keep in mind with the classic, classic and classic 2 over the SE30. First of all, the classic uses a digital brightness, whereas the SE30 has SE and SE30 have a brightness knob at the front, and so the signal for the brightness actually comes out of this main power connector. So I don't know what you would do with that. I guess you maybe hardwire it at a certain brightness level. Just something worth considering if you were going to do that. I'm not sure if anyone's actually seriously thinking about doing that, but I'm just mentioning. Okay, so we need Mac technical files, which I have in here. Mac technical files. And then we go to the 68K schematics. And then we go to What do we have in the way of Apple? Oh, there's an Apple SE. Pardon me. Ooh, what a mess. That is virtually impossible to read. I wonder if there's a bow mark one. Probably is. Bow mark. No, there isn't. Fizzle. Are we having fun yet? Okay, Mr. Fahrenheit, hello. SE Advantage PDF slot. A few other looking caps. Classic Advantage boot from ROM. Classic 2 Advantage max 10 megabyte RAM, but half the speed of SE30. Yep, I'd agree with all those. FTS is not FTS. When it came from the school, must have been a field repair. Did I say hello to you, Dave? If I didn't, hello. Right, let's see if we can find something on this schematic that might actually tell us something about anything. It's really, really poor quality. I would much prefer to be using Kai's thingy. No, this is, I can't even read this. No. All right, we're not doing the SE today. We're going to move on to the SE30. So sorry about that, folks, but I really do need to have the sprint layout in order to work on this, and I have not set up to be able to view sprint layout down here in my workshop because I don't have parallels, and I don't, I'm not running Windows. I have to actually go up to the computer up there. So this one gets put aside for another day. I had hoped to do it here, but as I say, my little hunch was wrong. I am often wrong. He did ask me to check some resistors. I can at least do that. Let's check some resistors. Then I can say I did something. I can say, hey guys, I checked some resistors on the live stream today. How was that? There we go. Oopsie. That seems right. And what was the other one? 40A. And 40A. Should be the same. Yep. Okay, those are fine. Those are fine, and those are fine. So there we go. I checked 2 resistors today, and they were both correct. What a fun old time it's been. Did anyone just see where I put the pink bag? Ah, here it is. It's falling on the floor. Now, let's look at an SE30. I'll put this one back and grab the SE30. Okie dokie. Here we go. Hello. Cat's talking to me. Hello, cat. Oh. Right. Okay, so what we're going to do with this SE30 today, we're going to see if we can get it working. This one came to me in the mail, and I've been sitting on it for a while, not figuratively sitting on it. I haven't actually been sitting on it. and not literally sitting on it. Where are we? Where are we? Where are we? And we all love an SE30, don't we? Right. Now this one has come to me from, I think it came from sunny Israel. Let me just check that. Yeah, this is an Israeli SE30 board. And basically the problem that this one has is in this general vicinity. This has had a battery explosion. We've done a few little trace repairs and it's still not working. Now, if my recollections are recalled correctly, what happens when we fire this up is we get a chime and then we get the SEMA CMAC. Now, the fact that we get a chime suggests to me that things are probably okay with the RAM. Do you like the way I said that? I said that with such certainty. ROM, sorry, not RAM, ROM. They're probably okay with the ROM. We're just going to jump across to the microscope here and have a quick little look at where we're up to with this. Because we have, as I say, I have done a little bit of work on this so far. Now, one of the reasons why I wanted to revisit this is that since I have been doing all of this stuff with Kai, one of the things I have discovered is that this is a, I think it's a 6-layer board, not a 4. And for that reason, I am concerned about some of these vias that might have broken. Some of these vias may actually be meaning to connect up with inner layers. And if these have been damaged, see, for example, look at this guy. I mean, look at this guy. Look at this guy. Via's a mess. I wonder if just soldering it to the copper on the inside might help with that. But anyhow, and we've got another one here, mess. And so the fear is, geez, that's not to crash right there either. Look at that. Barely joined. I better do a little patch for that. Yeah, so the fear is that we've got some of these holes that have, corroded through, and they are not connecting to layers on the inside. That's what I'm worried about. That's what I have concerns about. And, so there. Just going to have a look at the chat. Confirm resits on client board. So this is what you want. A long-handled Torx wrench, T15, with a little thingy on the end. That's great for opening up those old vintage Macs. Most of my vintage Macs don't ever get the screws put back into them because I have to open them up so often. Heat up the via repairs to remove the enamel, then fill with solder. Yeah, I mean, it's a thought that, in particular with this one here, that you're not looking at because I'm not showing you the microscope. But in particular, with tweezers, particular with this one here, I've got this, wire running through, which is great, nifty. But that wire may not actually be properly touching the hair. So, anyhow, what I thought I might do is bring up the schematic and we'll see what we can find. Triangular and contoured. Oh, I remember the plain talk, Mike. That was the one that came with the Quadra, like the 840 or the Quadra 800 or something like that. I remember having a few of those, and it came with a Quadra of some description. I think it might have been the 840 AV, something like that. a member. So anyhow, Macintosh SE30, we all know that they often end up with problems up here. But this one here is absolutely freaking spotless up here. There's very little in the way of, damage or anything. There's a little bit around here, which I've already repaired. But on the whole, this one is actually in rather spectacular condition. So, everyone's sort of like, oh yeah, if you've got a problem with your Macintosh SE30, you've got to replace UE8. Look at UE8, it looks great. UE8 is just fine. We can't just immediately blame UE8 in this instance. Just can't. Just wouldn't be fair. So, and of course this is where all of the proper damage is. So this is where I'm more likely to find issues. I tell you what, I'd love to have the board view of this thing. How cool would that be? I've replaced some of these components here. These are new. Bing, bong, bang. What are they? F258s. I think it's these ones I replaced. These three. So, righty. Schematic. Let's bring it up. I'd love to at least get one thing repaired today. One. Oh, that's a two. What? You telling me I don't have a schematic for the SE30? I'm sure I have a schematic for the SE30. I think I've even got it here. 840 AV. What's that? Color classic. I mean, I maybe. Oh, hang on. What's that? 2CI. I'm really confused now. I was sure there was an SE30 schematic. Let me look. SE30. I've got a folder here. Oh yes, look at that. Look at that. I do. It's a genuine Apple one too. Don't ask me where it came from, because it's not like Apple hand these things out. Right. So what I'm looking for. This one is really hard to see too, so that's going to help me a lot. Here we are. So this is UJ2. So I'm going to want to try and find UJ2 and see where he is supposed to go. Page 2. There's a UJ2. Hello UJ2, how are you today? And UJ2, which is a 74F258, which is what we see here. I am being so negligent with the chat here. It's a good job everyone's being reasonably quiet. Right, I'm going to just quickly do this. I'll tell you what, if we don't get anywhere with this SE30 soon, I'm just going to grab a board and recap it. Just go to the old thing, you know? Tried and true, you know? You know what I'm saying? I am extremely close to 19,000 subs at the moment. How about that? Isn't that nifty? Thank you to everyone who subscribes. I do appreciate it. Right. So, what have we got here? We've got pin... There's pin 1. We want to know where pin 2 goes. So pin 2, he goes... Where are you travelling to, pin 2? That's interesting. Okay, so he's coming from... So in theory, I could be wrong. Beepity beep mode. Oh, it's so much easier to read the chat in this window than it is on that app. Watch me read the ingredients of a box of cake mix. Well, there you go. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate that. Right, so in theory, so we're looking at, what did I say? It was UJ2. That was what I was looking at. It was UJ3. I'm losing my brain. Okay, here we go. Yeah, UJ2. Pin 2, he's saying he is A... Oh, far out. These are really bad scans, and I'm finding this extremely hard to read. A0. A3, A0. Okay. Let's find where that travels to. It goes to the ROM sim by the look of it. A3, okay, cool. So, let's just have a look. A3. Pin 5? Is that right? This seems very wrong, but maybe? What? I'm just going to try something here. I'm just going to try an experiment. So, oh. Okay, so that one does go to the ROM sim. This one, which I believe is supposed to go to the ROM sim, doesn't appear to. So we might be onto something here, or I could just be kangaroo dust. G'day. Right, so I'm going to just have a look here with my eyes. I'm so confused. But it's okay. Confused is good. That looks like a break, but I don't think it is. It's just gunk. 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 Here's a theory. Here's a theory. Oh, it's probably not going to work though, is it? One, two, three, pin 4. Okay. Just going to do a little bit of checking here. That was pin 1, 2, 3. That was pin 3. So pin 3, A2, and that should go to pin 4. So A3. So it should be going to pin 5. So this is what I believe should be happening. Pin 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's pin 4 on the ROM. I don't know if you can see that. There's pin 4 on the ROM. And then that is connecting to pin 3 of this little guy here, this F258. Now this one here should go to pin 5. And it doesn't. So I'm actually feeling pretty good now about there being a problem with this problem. So that's it there by the looks of it. Hang on, that can't be right. That there, and I've got it attached to the positive. I need to get my good SE30 board, which is, where is it? In my SE30, which is just out there. I'm going to go grab it, won't be a sec. Just going to do a little comparison with a working board. This is the way we do it. See if we're being professional. Ow! It's okay. Everything's fine. Nothing broke. Okay, here's an SE30. Going to open this up out here so that I don't need the space in there. And we'll grab our little board. Hello, little board. Disconnect the SCSI. Disconnect the floppy. Disconnect the power connector. Put my great big fat hand in here. There we go. Now, you know, this is going to suck because I have to take the ROM sim out, and this ROM sim is kind of held in, sort of held in at the moment with sort of some plastic stuff. Right, what do we got? We got top view. Excuse me. So I've got this, you know, this, I don't know if you know, this plastic stuff that you can mold in your fingers. You heat it to a certain temp and then you can kind of mold it. And I'm using that here. I should not be using it anymore because I now have little 3D printed things I can just slot over to hold it in place. But wrap a small wire around your beeper probe. That way you don't have to take it off. When you put this stuff in boiling water, it gets very squishy. And I'm simulating putting it in boiling water by hitting it with my hot air station. So, ow! The hot air out of the hot air station is hot air. Just remember that. Yay! Off she comes. So I'm going to dispose of this. This is my little plasticky, mouldy, plasticky thing, which worked fine, but I did that before I had a 3D printer. Now I have a 3D printer, I have made little clips that just slide down over the top either side. So if you've got a little cracked thing here, they just slot down either side and hold it in place. Is that wrong that I watched Branker's creation? Ball his own thumb and then laughed about it. No, it's not wrong at all. It's how we do things. And the other day we were having a chat with Dan, our good friend from the Canadian Computer Collector, and he was playing around with the 6500, which he just gave up on way too quickly, by the way, Dan. Playing around with the 6500, and he contacted us after asking for a little bit of advice, saying, you know, I've got a leaky cap here, should I try it out anyway? And we're like, yeah, try it out. I mean, what's the worst going to happen? It's going to blow up. You can film it. That's fine. Right, so this is the theory that I had. This is the theory I had. The theory that I had is that when you view the microscope, you can see what I'm doing, is that this pin 2, right there, should be going to pin 5 here. See? You see what I'm saying, don't you? Now, it's going through here, and I wired it up to this. Okay, so here's the interesting thing as well. It is also going to this, which is minus something. So it is getting to the ROM via an interior trace. Now, do I try and re-establish with that interior trace, or do I just run a bodge wire? Now, my gut is telling me I probably should just run a bodge wire. And when my gut talks to me, I listen. So, here's the thinking. Let me grab the old thing with the thing. We'll get that thing there. And what do we say? We said pin 5. So that's coming from this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's this one here. There. And I want to just check something. Bodge wire. Yeah. So, if I am going to we'll do this from under here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 through to this one. Yep, they're there. Okay, that's interesting. Interesting as the day is long. Okay. Right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do. Let's get a new piece of wire. Now, of course, when I do run bodge wires across boards, which I don't like doing, but sometimes there's no choice, and in an instance like this, I don't believe we have a choice. But when I'm running a bodge wire, I will stick it down with some of this UV. Oh, look at the size of my tip. Look at it. This is left over from me working on other stuff yesterday. I got this huge, massive bloody tip on this thing. Be able to melt a hole in this board with that. Let's not use that one. Let's use my little favourite, T12 BC2. Just for anyone who is wondering, there are links to it in the description, but that is a tip I use, a T12 BC2. It's a good one. Baby Boomer Twerk Team, hello. How are things down in Vicky, Victoria? That's the tip size I use for TQFPs. I have pretty much only 2, let's say 3 tip sizes that I use. 4, let's say 4. for most of the soldering. I mean, I do have other ones. I would generally use this size here, which is this beveled tip. I love working with this one for the majority of soldering I do. Sometimes when I'm working with the more modern computers, I have a bevel tip like this. As you can see, much smaller. You might see I've also got a little bit of solder on the tip. It's because there's one I don't use as often, and you will preserve your tips longer if you leave a little bit of solder on them for storage. And then the other tip that I use fairly regularly is this guy here, which is a bent conical. So it's actually meant to be bent. It wasn't like heavy-handed with this. And this is really good for getting into tight places, you know, around the side and everything. But because you've got this flat edge on the bottom, you still get quite a lot of heat onto things that you need. If you're just trying to solder with the tip, you never get any heat where you want it. But if you can solder with a flat edge, you can get some heat where you want. And by the way, this isn't hot. Otherwise, I would be probably screaming out in pain. And then the other one that I use, which is not as regularly, but this is something that I have got more recently, and that is my little soldering pencil, and I cannot for the life of me find it where it's gone. Is that it there? Yeah. So this is the one that I bought by Jay, the recommendation of Jay, and this is one for working on the modern Macs, and this is the bomb. I should have got one of these ages ago. I mean, Jay was telling me to get one ages ago, but you know, I don't always listen to him. And he said, "You got to get one, got to get one." I got this, and wow, this thing gets so much heat into such a small area. Fantastic thing. Little micro pencil, great for working with all the modern stuff. Generally won't bring that out much for working on these vintage macaroonies. So let's undo a little bit of what I did before. So get some focus. And I'm going to get this wire and banish it from the board. We'll get it from the other side. And it's this guy here. Whoopsie. There we go. Out you come. Out you come. Nope. Have to get it from this side. Just did it too well. There we go. All right. Your micro pencil broke. What were you doing with it? You weren't using that to try and desolder that RAM slot or something, were you, Jay? All right, get a bit of wire there. Now, one thing I really want to be careful with this wire. I really don't want to get it all put in position and then snap it somewhere. So, as you can see, I've got you know, trace disappearing here. It's all coming out. So, which micro pencil is that, Jay? Can I leave it to you to put? It basically works with the Hacko Station, but it's a different handle. It's actually a smaller tip, so it doesn't go into the standard handle. So you actually have to buy the tip with the handle. Yeah, and it just plugs into the FX951, and it is really, really good, particularly if you're working with the what are those ones, the QFNs or something, quad, the ones with the really tiny little pads around the side of it. Works beautifully for those. So let's see if we can get some flux onto this board and stick this down, and who knows, I mean, if we fix this, I will make one Israeli chap very, very happy. It'll make me happy too, because I am trying to clear some of these boards that have been sitting here for a long time. And this is one of them. Now, when I use my UV mask, I'm going to try and get this to follow the exact line of where the trace was. I just always like to do that. I just always feel it looks better. So I'll get it running along here, and then I'll get it to turn a little sharp corner just there, up there, and then, come on man, and then there. If anyone's hearing bird noises, what you're hearing at the moment is an Australian minor bird. They use noise as a defence mechanism. Chirpity, chirpity, chirpity. They usually do that when there's a cat or around, or a bird of prey or something like that. They usually get together in a gang and they nag and nag and nag until whatever is causing the threat leaves. Right. Here we go. Thank you for that. Pit Fermi, hello Bruce Wayne, how's the weekend so far? The weekend has been pretty good. I mentioned sort of earlier on the stream that I've had a very productive repairy type weekend. I've had a weekend where I have been fixing a lot of things, not wanting to overshare or anything like that, but I have sleep apnea, which means I sleep with a CPAP machine, which stands for constant pressure something something. And I repaired my CPAP machine on Friday, I think, and then I repaired my vacuum cleaner yesterday, I repaired the ceiling fan yesterday, and I repaired the oven door. So I had a big old repairy day yesterday, which is why I didn't stream. You know, every now and again you just got to get those repairs done. Now I've got to figure out where I'm going to run this bodge wire. We need to essentially go from here to here, but that's kind of ugly going that way. I wonder if I should kind of travel around a little bit and maybe do a little left turn down here somewhere, go in between those two. I might stick it down with a bit of UV while I'm at it. Have you considered switching to a monitor instead of an ocular microscope? My back would kill me if I did repairs bending over all the time. Well, you might be interested to know that I did actually use a monitor before I used this. And there are two things you need to consider. First of all, as you actually said it in your comment, binocular. 2, you're actually seeing in stereo when you look through here. You have depth perception. So that is a massive plus over working with just a single screen. When you're working with a single screen, you've basically got your 2 dimensions. When you're looking through here, you get 3 dimensions, you get proper depth perception looking through them. So that is a huge plus when you're doing this stuff. Can't even begin to tell you what a difference that makes with working with these. The other is that, I mean, first of all, yes, you're right. I mean, if I'm like this for a really long time, I do get a little bit of a sore back. But the other is, it is kind of hard to describe to someone who hasn't tried it, but it is chalk and cheese when you're working with these compared to when you're working with a you know, sort of looking up on a monitor. Just in terms of the way you feel part of what you're doing, the connection you have between your eyes and your hands, you know, your ability to do really precise work. So I can say that, as I say, I did start off using a microscope that projected onto a screen, and I was doing it that way, and it was good. It's better than nothing. With my eyes, I can tell you, if I wasn't using a microscope, I would not have been able to do the things I was doing. But I can also say that this is a much better way of doing it. Right. So I'm going to go, I think I'm going to go this way. Trying with my scope for about 20 minutes, never went back. I'll tell you what I do like to do though sometimes. I have this camera, as you know, and I have it connected up at the moment for my live stream, which is all great. But I also have a great big TV here that I got for free. I went, it's a rubbish TV, it's awful. I mean, I did talk about it in one of my live streams. I went on holidays a long time ago, and while I was there, the TV was stuffing up. And so I contacted the concierge or whatever, you know, the hotel manager. He came into the room and he looked at it and found the problem. Yeah, okay, no worries. problem with the connector on the back. And he brought in a new TV, and I said, I said to him, look, I'd be able to fix that. And he said, that broken connector, that's inside it, you'd be able to fix that. And I said, yeah. And he said, oh, do you want the TV? I'm like, yeah. So I took a TV home with me. But anyhow, I now have that set up here. And so if someone is here, if I have a guest here, and maybe I don't know, doing a battery on a phone or something like that, I can put the microscope onto that big screen and they can stand and watch what I'm doing while I'm doing it, which is kind of fun. So let's just get this wire. I'm just going to plonk this little bit of UV mask there, and then do you take crypto donations? I have to say, that's a question. I have never done it before, so I don't know if I do it. I have not thus far. Oopsie. Now, I know this is off camera at the moment, but I'm kind of limited a bit because I don't want to move too much. Did you know some CPAP and BiPAPs are the same machine with a different software loaded from the ROM? Hackers have been able to convert a CPAP to the more expensive. Yeah, I have heard that. Yeah, it's not really surprising when you look at these machines. Having looked inside them, what are those? ARM. That's right. It's just driven off a little ARM chip, yeah. But anyhow, I mean, basically, it got water damage. It fell down, and some water got onto the board, and then oopsie. Yeah, and I was able to spot the spot where the water was there. There's a little bit of corrosion, a little bit ugly. Took the component off, cleaned under it, and then bang, working. It's very rewarding when you do that, you know, repairing stuff. I will do a far better job of actually coating this wire. All I'm doing at the moment is I'm laying it out where I want to put it so that I get the right length of wire. I don't want to end up with the wire being too long. So. I want to apologise to everyone from, say, particularly from the, let's say, east coast of the US, who might be used to watching my live streams, and I normally start a lot earlier. I started later today, and if people, people might be sort of like cross with me for starting so late, and for that I apologise. No, I'm getting so frustrated with this, I'm not even going to bother anymore. We're just going to run this here across to pin 5 like that. And then I'll just move it out of the way later. If I've got a little bit of excess, I shall just move it. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine, okay? It'll be fine. Everyone, it'll be fine. This is the nice and clear. It's the visualization of my patients. You've just seen exactly how long it lasts. All right. That was me turning a 2-minute job, no, so I should say 1-minute job into a 10-minute job. The art of the live stream. Let's inspired me to learn micro soldering. Started watching your videos 2 weeks ago and did my first IC replacement 5 days ago. That is awesome. Congratulations. Well done. As much as possible, that is ultimately what I am trying to do. I mean, I just recently had a situation where I was asked to describe what it is I do on my YouTube videos. And of course, it's like, oh, okay, I'm working with vintage Macs. Yeah, okay. But ultimately, my main goal is actually, I like to try and entertain people, sure. I mean, I'm not, you know, that is definitely part of what I'm trying to do here. But another thing I'm trying to do is I'm trying to encourage people to give this stuff a try themselves, have a crack at it. So let's have a look. Let's get the old beepity beep beep machine and we'll put it right here. And we will go from, no, over here. We'll go from pin 2 of this one to pin 5 of the ROM slot thingy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not doing anything. Am I on the right one? What have I done? What have I done? Oh, the multimeter's off. Have you ever had that happen before? Yeah, here we go. Whoopsie dink. Now, I'm just going to get the other board. I'm just going to test something here. Just test a theory. That's what I like doing. I like testing theories and dropping things on the floor because I do that a lot. Got pin 2. Great. 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 Good. Okay. Right, here we go. We are going to test this out. I mean, there could well be other things wrong with it. I have repaired a few things on this board, so I'm hopeful that, but we'll give it a whirl. Now, I've got a ROM sim here, and it is the customer's ROM sim. It's a little bit on the ugly side, so I think I might like to just try using my own one here, which is the Rominator from Big Mess of Wires, BMOW. Also the creator of the floppy EMU, whatever you want to call it, which I also have one of those because they're a rather awesome thing to have if you are into vintage Macs. All right, so we're going to test this out. How about that? You need patience and steady hands. That is absolutely true. Struggling to get tracer wire stuck to small amounts of solder though. Well, one of the things I always say about soldering is if you're having problems getting solder to solder, it is usually because either you don't have enough heat, or because you don't have enough flux, or because whatever you're trying to solder to is dirty. So they're generally the main things there. So if you're not getting things to stick down, you just got to look at those things. Are the things that I'm trying to solder clean? Have I put some flux on them? Is my soldering iron getting nice and hot? They're the kind of things that you need to look into with those. So it is time now to test an SE30. And I don't know. I mean, I'm feeling good about it.
Smash that like button.
Just a little reminder to everyone to firmly grab that like button and make it your bitch. Do I test it in an SE case or an SE30? They're both the same, really. There's no reason. So I've got an SE just here. I'll just grab this one. That's the old man noises. No. What? What? Okay. Right. Shit, that's not good. I just swore. Just pretend I didn't. Generally, the swearing is just something you don't want to do right at the beginning of the video. If you do a little bit later on, no one seems to mind too much. Okay, we ready? Steady. Won't get a chime. No. Okay, so we're still getting CMAC on the display here. See that? But I am feeling better about it because I feel like the problems are all going to be in this region. So we're just going to keep going with that. I do want to hear it though. I want to hear if we're getting a chime or if we're getting a sad Mackie. Sad Mackie. Sad Mackie. There we go. Oh, craps. Come on. Come on. There we go. All right. Didn't get any noise at all. What is that telling me? I expected some noise. Okay, that time I got a chime. I got more than a chime. Make that your bitch, it's a cursor. That's my victory dance. Let's put a system on it. I better point this camera down so you can see. Got a little bit of a flicker. Yeah, my guess is that was just is either a loose RAM or a loose ROM, but that is called victory, friends. Friends, that is victory. Okay, so let's get a system happening, and we'll start up. And I'll tell you what. As another one off the list. I attached a speaker extension to my test chassis to make things less tricky. And that is something that I intend to do as well, Joe. I haven't done it yet, though. You may have noticed that I haven't done it. I mean, the little extension thing here is just awesome. It's 50 different types of awesome. Now, so what I'm going to have to do with this one now, I'm getting excited. Calm down. I'll get a system running on it first, and then we will talk about some of the next things that need to be done with this computer, because it's far from actually ready. Well, that's not true. It's close to ready. I need to stick a battery holder on it because it lost it. Pardon me, lost the battery holder, and I need to make sure that battery holder is properly wired up because the little holes for the battery holder are an absolute mess because they got damaged by a leaky battery. So let's fire up. Let's fire up the old SCSI SD. It's already here. There we go. Close. Now I want to leave that there, but not there. We'll make that 4. Make that one 6. That's system 7.1. That's what I want to boot into. I'm going to whack a little 7.5 on here as well. Yes, sir. Okay, so that's that. Let's save to device. Hey. There we go. Save to device. Okay, we're all done. You can't see that, but I'm just using the SCSI 2SD utility. Something very important you do need to know how to use if you are using a one of these, SCSI 2SD. Now, how am I going to get this? I can't get this plugged in with the speaker. Sorry, no sound. I wonder if I have some little extenderoonery things. Like these sorts of things. So I've got these sorts of things, you know, and you can just take 2 of them and you plug those in there. But then I need the other end to plug into there. I do have things. Who cares? I've even got a speaker here. Look, I've got a speaker. I could just plug it. But no, I can't be bothered. Oh, hang on. Just use this, eh? How about that? External speaker. Even better. Even better. Okay. So I've got that. I'm going to get a keyboard. I'm going to plug a keyboard in so that I can potentially navigate my way through the world of vintage Mac. Oh, is this the right plug? Oh crap, don't tell me I rolled over this one with my chair as well. Making a habit of that. Here we go, that should plug in. Right, okay, we ready? Steady! This speaker isn't as loud. I think it's a different impedance to this one. This one I think is only a 16. Yeah, it's a 16 ohm, and I'm pretty sure these ones use what are they? 40. I can't remember. Oh. Okay, oopsie, spin this around, oopsie, oh, should have just booted in the ROM disk, shouldn't I? I'm not sure I got any activity from the SCSI there. Let's just see. Oh no, I got it, it's all good. Just holding down Shift Option Command Delete, which should force it to boot from an external device. I don't want to boot from the RAM disk, even though that does seem extremely convenient. What? God, it's annoying when that happens. Come on. What will we do? What will we do? I can boot from this. I just need to think with my brain. We've all been there before. I have to boot with system 7.1. I can't boot with anything newer because I've only got 4 megs of RAM in this. Use the built-in ROM. Yeah, all right. Okay. You make sense. I mean, Joe does make a fair bit of sense. Is what we love about Joe. Whoops. Now, what do I have to press? I can't see it. And I think he even has SCSI probe in his configuration here. I'm just going to change my view to get rid of those annoying pictures there, just like that. Are we still having problems? Is it possible that we're still having problems? Because, oh no, here we go. Just having a good old think. And let's get the old SCSI probe up and running and see. That is so weird. I'm watching this on the live stream. Okay, so it's not finding this. It's saying bus not terminated. Now, that could well be because I don't have anything connected to the internal. So let's just... I'm going to do some things here, and don't worry, they're not illegal. I do have floating around some part of this office, workshop, shed, whatever you want to call it. I do have a little SCSI terminator, unless I took it up to the house, that I can just plonk on to terminate the internal bus. Because I really do need to find out whether, does this reach? I think I've got a long SCSI cable. I might be able to do this. It's always this final testing is always the slowest part, isn't it? House of Moth just posted a video. What did you post, Jay? What did you post? I've just been notified. There's my really long SCSI cable. I was using it just the other day. It's probably still connected to whatever I was using it with. So I should be back. Oh, crap. Oh, that's right. That's allowed to break. Here's my long SCSI cable. It's connect yard to my Classic 2. Let's see if it's long enough to fire up to this hard drive on this SE. Because at the very least, even if we can't boot to it, it will give us some termination. SE and SE30 mount the hard drives upside down inside them. Just in case anyone didn't know that, I'm just letting you know. Upside down. Right, let's see what happens when we plug that in. This almost definitely has 7.1 on it. Might be 7.0 though, we'll see. Schedule for later, but YouTube felt like publishing it now. Fair enough. Dana Sibera, hello, how are you? Well, I remember where I put a bunch of PC133s. I've got a whole stack over here. They may not be the size you want, but... Okay, so it's still not... Now, we may well have problems with SCSI. I mean, let's not rule it out. This poor computer has been rather upset. Now, I would say sometimes, well, it could be the fuse, but these have self-healing fuses, so it's not likely to be, but we'll check them anyway. We will boot into the ROM again and just see what it says then. Because this hard drive could be stuffed. We'll see. So, and of course the SCSI chip could be cactus. That's good. That's good. We're all fine. We're all fine. Everybody's fine. Oh, it's nice to be able to boot into the ROM, isn't it? Yeah, I have enough HDs to have all my G number towers running now, and 2 of them have RAM that went walkies. I actually bought some G4s recently that were absolutely chockers full with RAM. How is it nice is it when that happens? I got 2 mirror drive door G4s, and both were absolutely chockers with RAM, and I paid $50 each for them. I'm feeling pretty happy about that, I have to say. I found a link to an updated and cleaned PDF of the SE30 schematics. Oh, please feel free to send that link to me, sir. I have actually cleaned up those SE30 schematics a little, just for myself, but they're still not, they're not brilliant. They weren't scanned particularly well in the first place. Right, SCSI probe. Now, if this says bus not terminated, we know that there's some sort of SCSI related issue. Yeah, it says bus not terminated. And one of the ways I'll quickly be able to prove that is get my own board here with exactly the same configuration, and then I can fairly safely say. So, but that in itself is kind of a good thing, I mean, because we can just, oh, what? What's What's going on here? It looks like I've had a go at the SCSI chip. So who knows? I might have made a mistake. Could have bridged something somewhere. Always possible. I do make mistakes. Oh, yes, I do. Anyone who saw my Mac Classic, last Mac Classic video will know that. Right. So, where's the SCSI chip? SCSI chip is right there. And I have indeed done something to it. Now, I don't know if I swapped it out or whatever, but let's just have a look and see that I haven't gone in and accidentally created a bridge or something like that. Microscope. So there is that. See, that's my soldering. So I've either swapped it out or something like that. Maybe I replaced it with a bad chip. Stranger things have happened. Worst things happen at sea. Not seeing any bridges though. Okay, so I have to ask myself a question. Why would I have replaced it? This is it here, isn't it? What is it? 53 SCSI chip. Ooh, 50 SCSI chip is 53C80. That sound right? That sounds right, doesn't it? Yeah. 53C80. Same chip. SCSI chip. And this is probably the one I took off it originally. So maybe I put a bad chip on there. I'll whip it off and put another one on. See, so there's a real advantage to not putting things away very often. When you go to try and find them, they're just right there in front of you. I'm going to get some heat shielding. You two screwed me. It's all right. Don't worry. It's all fine. It's all fine. I'm going to be, whatever it is, I'm going to be watching it afterwards. What is it? What is it? What did you publish? Is anything interesting? Not too interesting, I hope. I don't want to lose viewers. You're allowed to be a little bit interesting, but not more interesting than me. That's just silly. I don't mean that. Presumes that I'm interesting to start off with when I say that. Heat shields. Get it together. Come on, rain. There we are. Look like a solder ball between two pins there, near the corner of the one with your soldering. Okay. I'm going to have a look very closely. We are now going. Sometimes the flux inside reflects and makes it look like there's a solder ball in there. I don't think there is one, but I am always more than happy to check. Looking for balls. No balls. No balls. I do not believe there are any solder balls there. Oh, Charlie. Thank you very much, Charlie. Thank you. I haven't forgotten about, was it your LC520 I think that I got here at the moment? Just working my way through the problem jobs at the moment. We are getting through, and I cannot even begin to tell you how happy I am that I got this one working, because then I can move away and work on something else. On the 2 pins near a corner. Okay. All good. Sweet. 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 Never mind when people say that to me. I don't feel like I'm having my time wasted or anything like that. I've got a lot more pairs of eyes out there, and I may well see something that I miss. And so, always welcome it. Let's get some heat shield happening here, something that the previous owner of this did not do, because there are lots of melted things. Lots and lots of melted things on this board. Not on my watch. Right, let's get this little sucker off. And we'll put this chip back on here, which I'm pretty sure, I don't know why I would have done it. It seems weird to replace the SCSI chip on a machine that's not working at all. Maybe there was something about it that I didn't like the look of, or maybe I wanted to get under it. I can't remember. Oh man. Fume extractor's not on. I am very glad that you have enjoyed the Classic Reloaded project, Charlie. I have also enjoyed it, and I hope that in the long run it will benefit others. They can go in and do it. I can say that it is a job. It is definitely a job and a half getting that thing done. Just going to check that little dark spot here on a trace. I want to just check and make sure that's not actually a break. So I'm going to grab my trusty scalpel and give it a bit of a scrape and just see if that dark bit comes off. Yeah, it does. Copper's fine. This scalpel blade is absolutely trash. Need to replace it. Right. We've all been here before. We're going to clean this up, get all the old solder off the pads. Then we are going to put the new component on, get some more solder, and then we'll test it again. A fun project to watch. I'm very, very pleased to hear. So I'm just so glad that everyone has watched it. I actually, one interesting thing did end up happening, and I have Dana Siberia to thank for letting me know this. But some of you may or may not have heard of someone called Chris Espinoza. For those who don't know who he is Apple employee number 8. And just to give you an idea, every time an Apple employee joins up, they get given a number, and it's sequential based on when they join. Steve Jobs referred to himself as 0. Steve Wozniak was 1. Anyhow, Chris Espinoza is Apple employee number 8. And he actually started off with Apple when he was 14 years old, back when they were working out of Steve Jobs' garage. And anyhow, Chris Espinoza actually watched the Classic Reloaded project. It is my understanding that he did anyway. He may not have, or he might have only watched a bit of it, but he certainly responded to the tweet of it. So, yeah. So I was pretty chuffed about that. It just goes to show the reach of a project like that it gets that sort of that level of interest. I sometimes forget to turn the fume extractor on, but it's a very important thing to have. Anyone who is doing this themselves, please use some form of fume extraction. Either set up a fan nearby, make sure your room is well ventilated. This here is not a particularly expensive fume extractor. There are links to it in the description. I bought it on Amazon, and as I say, it wasn't particularly expensive. There are some that are obscenely expensive. This one, not so much. Flux, that's what I need. Mike, hello. Thank you very much. Super chat photos, Mike. The stream sucks without an epic Aussie F-bomb. I know. I don't know. I might do one towards the end. We'll see. We'll see. Mike gets to hear me swear rather a lot. I do swear rather a lot around the Maciat guys. It's not actually because of the Maciat guys. It's just because I swear a lot, and I'm around the Maciat guys a lot. But I do try not to swear on these streams, and there is one very good reason why I don't try and swear on them. It's not because of like, oh, you know, advertising or you know, monetization or anything like that. You know, it's nothing like that. It's the main reason why is because I do know that some of my videos get watched by some of my relatives, and I don't want to be swearing, in particular if they are younger relatives. I don't want them to be listening to me cussing. Got a pesky old bridge here. I'm going to need a little bit of thingy. Oh, PC133 found. So does that mean Dana is about to take off? Yes, I do love to cuss a fair bit. I do, and as I say, the Maciat guys will tell you that. And I can speak for Dana, as in Dana does stuff. Dana, he seems to take great pleasure in it when I swear. He laughs his head off sometimes when I'm swearing my head off. I think he just likes the sound of it in the Aussie accent. I just don't have enough flux here. I'm trying to do it without adding any more, and I'm just looking at thinking this just needs more flux. And one more side. Right. So just actually a quick shout out to Mike. Thanks again for the super chat. But Mike did a live stream earlier today. In actual fact, for me, way too early. I saw the notification for it when I woke up, and he had already finished by that time. So if anyone is, you know, looking for something to pass the time with, I found a bridge. Someone looking for something to pass the time with, when they're finished watching this video, of course, jump across onto Mike's Mac Shack. I think he was playing with an iMac, from memory. I think that's what his, what the description of the video said. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. As I said, I've had a pretty busy morning, so not much opportunity. Right, so we have a new SCSI chip on here, and we're going to see what happens if, and I'll repeat that, if it works now. I know that that SCSI chip that I put on is bad, in which case I will just throw it away. I see little point in hanging on to it. What? Can't find boot CDs. Yeah, I have exactly the same problem all the time, Dana. There are times when I go to, I'll be sitting, sometimes I'm sitting at this desk and I have something and then I can't find it. And it's like, I haven't gone anywhere. I haven't moved from this spot. It has to be within arm's reach of where I am. Where the hell is it? Tell you one thing that I lost and I have been turning the place upside down trying to find is a little booklet of sample surface mount resistors and capacitors. Got a little booklet, faux leather bound booklet with sheets and sheets and sheets, and it normally lives here-ish, and it's just gone. It's just gone. Okay. Right, time for some testing. I'm going to see if we can get some scuzziness. Hey, Scuzzy. Okay. Excuse me. We ready? And click-a-rooney. I didn't hear whether it chimed. I can't hear squat because of this fume extractor. Yeah, I don't think it chimed. Let's turn this fume extractor down, shall we? There we go. Do 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 do. There we go. A little bit of ROM happening there. Big mess of wires. And flashing question mark. Okay, so let's try it again. Boot with the ROM and try the old SCSI. Oops, I keep pressing the wrong button. Press the old SCSI prep. Oh, I didn't plug in a keyboard. How am I going to press R if I haven't got the keyboard plugged in? I aren't going to press it. ROM disk. Now, of course, if this still doesn't work, then I can probably assume that there's nothing wrong with the other SCSI chip. Then, of course, I have to start going in and doing diagnostics on SCSI. Replacement SCSI chips really readily available? That's a very good question, and they might be. My recommendation would be, if you were looking for some, to try utsource.com. There is a good chance there's lots of new old stock on there. I've managed to get some really hard to find things on there. Yeah, okay, still bus not terminated. So we've definitely got a problem with SCSI here. Hang on, I just want to try something. Whoopsie. Yeah, okay. And do this. Thank you. Yeah, okay, so we've definitely got SCSI problems. But you know what? In the grand scheme of things, that is relatively minor as far as I'm concerned. One of the great things about SCSI, of course, it is just one component of this, and it's something that we can just look at kind of isolated. Having it actually boot up is a massive, massive plus. Excuse me. Sorry for all the old man noises. That's basically what happens. I'm just going to check and see how long we've been going for, because I do have other things I want to do today. And it was 2 hours and 20 minutes. Okay, that's still not too bad. I don't want to go over the 3-hour mark. Let's see if we can be finished before then, eh? So, let's think about SCSI. Let's have a look around this area. We'll look for some broken traces. We'll look for anything that might be causing some issues. And then we can revert to the old, what do you call them things? Schematics if we need to. What's going on with this chip? Something looks funky. Well, I think it's still factory soldering. It's a little bit wonky, but can't really blame wonky. Yeah, let's have a look on the other side. Around all these little pull-ups and things like that. One of the things that really sucks with these boards, if you're trying to replicate these, is these little inductors here. I think they're very hard to measure. I don't know how to measure an inductor, I'll be honest. I have no idea. I'm sure there are ways. Some clever folks know. What was I repairing there? Oh yeah, okay. That's all around the sound stuff, and that all works, so it's probably okay. I haven't replaced these big caps yet. I will, but I haven't yet. Have it recognised the extra certificates card, and does the video card need to have a ROM change? I have no idea. Sorry. Someone else might be able to answer. John Roberts, hey Bruce, I bought a GG Labs Maxim for my SE30 and it retains the original chime. Awesome. You can actually get the original chime back on the Rominator thing, but you've got to program it to do that, which I haven't done and couldn't be bothered doing. Camera, yeah, sorry. Yeah, you're looking at my fat gut at the moment. We can do without that, can't we? Okay. Now, let's have a look at the old schematic, and we'll look for the SCSI stuff. So that's ROM. This one is RAM. Apple desktop bus. Real-time clock. Video interface. Swim and SCSI interface. I like to swim. Oopsie. Crap. I lost it. There we go. Swim and SCSI interface. Single page. That's nice. Page 6. That's the PNG. Where's page 6 JPEG? No, the PNG is the right one. Sorry. Just don't worry about me. Swim and SCSI. What's this one? SE30 SCSI. Oh. 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 Okay. Oops. Super chat. Sorry. when I change cameras, the last message that was there disappears, and then when I come back to it, the message is still there again. I've already had I've sent a request to our friends at Ecamm about that, because I find it quite annoying, and I've got to be one of their most important customers, surely. I mean, come on. D3, C47, 5 volt. UI12. So that's that one. So that's this one here, UI12. Yeah. Okay. Where's he going? Let's just make sure we've got a few things happening here. That's going to the SCSI connector. We've tried both the internal and external, so we know it's not anywhere traveling from the chip to the plugs. It's something else. Where's the swim? Because the swim, is that the swim? Where's the swim? There's the glue. SCSI. Where's swim? Because the swim is the other thing that has a lot to do with it. No, that's not swim. Oh, what is wrong with my eyes? Why can't I find it? Oh, this is stupid. I really did not think I would have so much trouble finding the swim chip on this thing. UJ11. How about that? 11. J. UJ11. Well, that's why I couldn't find it. It's not friggin' labelled. Oh, wow, that made me go a bit cross-eyed. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Thank you. Thank you. Time to put this one on screen for 30 minutes. Yep. Let's get this one up and leave it there for 30 minutes. All right, so this is a swim chip. He's looking a bit wonky as well. Let's have a look at it from a few angles. Oh, crap. Apple had a bad soldering day on this board by the looks of it. There's a little bit of scunge under there. Do you reckon that might be creating a bridge? Can you see the scunge? Well, let's just check. Oh, for fridge magnet's sake. Yes, I can hear it. How does it get under the chair? How? Okay. Calm. Not creating a bridge, but I'll take it out anyway. Because the other thing is, of course, giving this a good ultrasonic clean could well bring it all back to life again. Because it hasn't had one. Well, not in a while anyway. Swimmity swim. Swimmity swim. Who here knows what swim stands for? Super was integrated machine. That's so true. So true. Sanders Wozniak. No, that's right. You're right, actually, because it was that other bloke, Sanders, who modified on the original Wozniak integrated machine. Did I say? I said super, and you wrote Sander, and I read super. What is wrong with my brain today? Don't answer that, for goodness sake. Please don't answer that. I don't need to know. Yeah, Sander. That's the bloke. That's the other guy. That's the guy who got the S part. Just looking for anything obvious here. I am going to try it again since I removed that gunk out of the swim chip, even though it's probably going to do nothing. I'm not even bothering to see what pins it was in between. And, you know, maybe an ultrasonic clean will just make it come to life. You never know. Stranger things have happened. I've had boards just suddenly magically work after ultrasonically. Ultrasonically? Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. I could pull out the, what do you call that thing? Ultrasonic. Whoops. Got the resistor nets. I really don't want to go around testing all of these pins and stuff at this stage. I may at a later date, but not just yet. What MacBoard is this? It is an SE30. Is it? Because I used to put little notes up, didn't I? Back in the olden days, I used to come up here and say, where are we? Text. Oh, here we go. Oh, look at that. I can do this. Working on, Mac SE 30. Add. There, look at that. Oh, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? A bit big. Okay. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. Here's where I am at the moment. I am thinking about wrapping this up fairly soon. I am going to just give this one final test with that little gunk that I removed from the swim chip, which I don't expect to make any difference whatsoever. Then I'm probably going to chuck this in the ultrasonic and get it nice and clean. If I still have a problem with the SCSI at that point, I am then going to go in and start testing all the little points. We've swapped the chip so we know it's not the SCSI chip. The swim chip also looks after the floppy drive, so it'd be interesting to see whether if the floppy works, but you know, and then, of course, yeah, we can just go around testing. We've had a lot of trace damage on this board, so it's always possible that there is a damage trace somewhere. But that's something that I can go through and find a bit at a time. As far as I'm concerned, the most glorious thing is the fact that I actually got this thing to boot today, thanks to this little piece of bodge wire that's running across the bottom of the board. And I'm going to make that look a lot nicer when I'm finished. Doesn't look too nice at the moment. God, these glasses are making me go cockeyed. Oh. Oh, crikeys. Is the termination power fuse okay? I did check that, and yes, it is. One of the things with these more modern boards, not like the old ones that used to use little pico fuses, they now use these ones, which are actually self-healing fuses. So if they pop, they unpop. So it's very, very unlikely you're ever going to find one of these fuses, you know, not working. But I have checked them. I did check those fuses there, and they're all good. I can't remember which one it is. It's either F2 or F3. I think F2 is the one for this connector, and F3 is the one for that. I can't remember. I wonder if this diode is okay. Let's just check the diode, shall we? We do that with diode mode on the multimeter. And we're testing for voltage drop. And we put one way around this way. And that is giving me 0.6 thereabouts, 0.56 I should say. And this way is giving me, well, that's not what I was expecting. But that's probably what. Let's test it on the other board, shall we? If I'm getting the same reading on the other board, we know it's right. Because this one works. That's interesting. He said, wondering. Oh, okay. It's because I had the device plugged in. As soon as I unplugged the device, I got the reading I was expecting. Yep, diode is fine. Have a nice day. So, diode's fine. I don't have to pick that up again. I had a few people commenting on this extension cable that I use with my SE30. I have Steve from Mac84 to thank for that. Ultimately, this is just an ATX cable extension. The way these sorts of plugs work, they have a kind of a configuration of different shaped plugs and plug holes along them. And the wider the connector gets, the more of those things there are. But ultimately, the ones that are there still fit. So even though the ATX cable was like that size, I was able to just cut the end off it and have this connector. Hello, Bernie. Did you want to say hello to the people? Yeah? Would you let me pick you up? Or are you going to run away? Going to run away. Sorry, I thought we might get a little cameo from the chicken there, but not today. She came in, but didn't want to be picked up. Okay, so switch on. Get my nice little chime. Oh, I've got to test it with the ROM that came with it too. I must remember that, because I'm not sure if I've ever tested it with the original ROM. Oh, I should mention that when I switch this on, I do get a little light flicker on the SCSI to SD, which does suggest that it's getting termination power. Because if it wasn't getting termination power, it wouldn't flicker at all. It would just be dead. Oh, crap, I've got to press R. Oh, no, hang on. We want to see if it boots from this thing first, which you probably won't, but you want to see it. No, it's not gonna. It's not gonna. Let's try the normal ROM. Bernie said no. Okay, there's the original ROM. Switch him on. It's a really, really grubby ROM. It probably needs cleaning. Let's just... Oh, God, what a mess. Ay caramba. Uchi, uchi, uchi. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'm going to clean this ROM up. before I go any further, because this is something that has to be done. I can at least do this on the live stream. You'll see what I am referring to when I get this under the microscope. Boop, 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 boop. You can go up there and what am I rolling over now? There's one thing that drives me absolutely bonkers, and that is when I go to move my chair and it won't move because I've rolled onto a cable. Ah, man. Murd. Sacre bleu. See? See what I'm looking at? You look terrible. It's not very nice. Looks like someone's had a go at cleaning it up. Oh, look at... Oh, my goodness. Look at that. You're not looking at the microscope. You can't see anything that I'm looking at here. Look at that. Look it. There is no way this ROM is going to work. So I'm going to have to say to this dude, mate, you're going to have to buy yourself a ROMinator because your ROM is shot. Absolutely shot. The problem I have here, maybe, I just, the amount of time spent repairing this would just, I don't think, be worth it. So, yeah, that ROM's gone. We could make a new PCB, swap the chips over. Or just buy one of these. Big mess of wires. Big mess of wires. Yeah. Now, they only need to make contact on one side, don't they? I mean, they don't actually have to make contact on the other side, other than... But anyhow, it's shot. Well, I mean, forget about it. Yeah, it'll buff out. All right, okay, so, oh, that was what I wanted to do. Yes, sorry, I got distracted. I got distracted by a ROM sim. It's not really a sim, is it? Because it's not a memory module. sim, single inline memory module. It's just more like a ROM module. But they still just get called sims. Dana, thank you very much for popping by, even if it was just for a little while. Your presence is always appreciated. Everyone, don't forget to check out Dana's awesome stuff. All of her amazing image edits and stuff like that, creating things that never existed and probably never should have. Dear, but yeah, so it's a Nanoraptor, I think, is it? From memory, Nanoraptor. But once again, thank you for joining. Let's just change here to a different view. Okay, we see CMAC again. Don't have to worry about that. We just got to give this ROM sim a little bit of a wiggle. He'll be good. Still not. Now you're starting to annoy me. We know it works because we've been doing it. We've been using it. We've been actually working with it. I'd say it's just going to... I think ultrasonic clean's going to do it. I mean, I had this same problem with my one, with the ROM sim. If it isn't really tied in there, you just get this... Idiot. on. Yeah, I'm just going to hit this with a little bit of IPA, or ISO, as some people also call it. Let's try some of this alcohol. Okay, let's see what happens now. Shall we? I warn you, do not vex me, SE30. Oh, you know what? It could have happened. I could have damaged a little trace wire underneath as well. That, you know, that bodge wire that I did on the back? I've been shuffling this around a lot. Oh, it's still holding. Good, 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 good. Good, 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 good. Good. It's definitely screaming for an ultrasonic clean, isn't it? Yeah, there we go. Oh, I need to get a bit of a press an I'm glad you like my shirt, Dan. I do like a little bit of the old, you know, it rubs the lotion on the skin or else it gets the hose again. I think that is a rather wonderful movie. Oh, whoopsie. I can't remember how to use this. You know what's great about this particular keyboard? You can only press one button at a time. You can't even play chords with it. I love it though. Love it. I had that exact same model when I was a kid. All right, so just going to do one last little check here. Make sure that we're still, it is still saying bus not terminated. And then the next thing I'm going to do is finish the stream. Going to put this in the ultrasonic cleaner. We're going to see how it is when it comes out. Whoopsie. I'm trying to move this cursor with my finger. This is someone who desperately needs a surface. Yep, still saying bus not terminated. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to try and ultrasonically clean it, see how it goes, and I'll take it out. If it works afterwards, I will of course post that on my Facey Booksies. That's where I generally put my my after things. So anyone who is watching and wants to know what happens next, if you have not followed my Brankus Creations Facebook page, please do so, because that's where that's why I post the updates when I'm working on these. Because obviously one of the things that happens is as soon as I have to do an ultrasonic clean, everything comes grinding to a grinding halt, because it takes quite a while to clean it and then dry it properly and everything. So So that's just what happens. Okay, that sound is embedded in my memory. Does it play Layla by Eric Clapton? No, I suspect not. If anyone out there is not as old as I am, you should jump onto YouTube and have a look for a song by a band called Trio. I think that was what they were called, Trio, Trio. And the song was called Da Da Da. Catchy. Sung largely in German. And check the video clip out. I mean, apart from the fact that you end up, after watching the video, you just cannot help but feel like the guy, the lead singer, is one of the creepiest dudes you've ever seen, and it's probably like Drowning Puppies or something like that. But they do feature that particular Casio keyboard in that film clip for that song. So if you're old like me, you probably remember the song very well. But if you are younger, you may not know the song, because it's not like it's one of those ones that was such a great song that keeps recurring and getting played. You know, I mean, things like, I don't know, Walking on Sunshine by Katrina and the Waves. I mean, you switch a radio on now, you're going to hear it. Whereas something like Da 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 by Trio, perhaps not so much. So if you're liking a little bit of silly 80s music, check that out, and check out that that keyboard having a little cameo in it. And if you want to see one of the stupidest songs from the 80s out there, two of them actually, I'll give you two absolutely ridiculous songs from the 80s that did actually end up in the charts. One of them is called, oh, now let me just, I can't remember the name of the band, I have to look it up. It was the Seniors or something like that. Oh, piss off. Sorry, I was talking to my computer, not you guys. It was by a band called The Veterans. There we go. A band called The Veterans. There Ain't No Age for Rock and Roll. Okay? Check that out. That has got to be one of the worst songs to come from the 1980s. I mean, really. I mean, do yourself a favour. See just how bad it is. Ain't No Age for Rock and Roll by The Veterans. The next one I would want to recommend, or not recommend as the case may be, would be a song by, oh, I just got to try and remember it. Montevideo and the Cassettes, and it's called Shoop Shoop Diddy Wop Cumma Cumma Wang Dang. Yeah, I'm not making that up. Shoop Shoop Diddy Wop Cumma Cumma Wang Dang by Montevideo and the Cassettes. You got to see it. You have to see it. If you haven't seen it, you got to see it. It is, once again, probably one of the worst songs to come from the 80s. So yeah, enjoy. Just going to get a little bit of UV mask on this wire while I've got it reasonably clean at the moment, and then I'll pop it in the ultrasonic. Remember that one? Wow, there you go. Lucky you. Okay, let me just see if I can do this without breaking this wire. Microscope view. Cannon Fodder, morning to you. I do apologise, but I am actually about to finish this live stream, and I know that's pretty piss poor timing seeing as you just got here. It is nothing personal. It is simply that I've been going for a long time, and the next thing I need to do now is ultrasonically clean this board, and that's a little bit dull to watch. Ah, dear, oh dear. What a wonderful time the 1980s were for music. So just a little quick recap for anyone who might be joining at the end. This is a Macintosh SE 30 that we had that was giving us seamless CMAC. We had a big problem with it. Then during the last, all this stuff I've been doing with SE, the Classic Reloaded, during that time I had an opportunity to speak to Kai about the SE30, and he was telling me it's a 6-layer board. Now, most of the other boards are 4-layer. They've got layer on the front, layer on the back, and then they have like a voltage rail and a ground in the middle. Because the Macintosh SE30 is largely I think it's a Mac 2X or a 2CX, I think one of those two. It's essentially one of those crammed down into a smaller board. Because they had to make it a lot smaller, they ended up putting a lot of traces on an inside layer. It's a 6-layer board. So what that basically told me was that if I had a VIA that was damaged, there's a good chance it's not just a matter of rerouting it from the top to the bottom. And that is indeed what the case was here. That VIA was meant to join up with a layer on the inside, and it wasn't. So that's what this bodge wire is doing. It is taking the spot of that, what going through the middle there. So we just had to get this little one of the pins on one of these little who's a fudge things, and then run it to pin 5 of the SIM socket. And as soon as we did that, bing bang, we got chime, we got start, we got cursor, we got happiness, and there was joy had by all. And I'm not going to say it's going to bring world peace, but I'm not going to say it's not going to bring world peace. Just doing a little bit of UVing here, just get this wire sitting in a stationary position. I will do a lot more once it's fully cleaned, but I just want to have this wire holding down for now. Just don't want it flippity flapping around. I don't want to get caught on things while I'm doing cleaning and stuff like that. And then, yeah, as I say, after the cleaning, I test the SCSI. If the SCSI still is not working after a good ultrasonic clean, I will then get the schematic out. I'll get my middle multimeter out, and I will do a whole bunch of testing of the pins of the SCSI chip and the SWIM chip and make sure they're all connected up. I can get the old oscilloscope out and check some of the pins and see that everything is looking fine and dandy. Yes, shag means the same thing here, absolutely. Why did someone say something? Same with things like fanny means the same thing here as it means in the UK. So just letting everyone know that. For any Americans that are out there, just be careful how you use the word fanny in this part of the world. You could end up saying something you didn't mean to say. Yes, that's correct. We do not have fanny packs, we have bum bags. I think I've come to my limit on pointing a UV laser beam at a little blob. I think I'm about as far as I am prepared to go with that. I mean, you know, it's fun, but that fun has to stop somewhere. Thomas, see you later. Thank you for joining. I have kept this going longer than I expected to go. Just mainly because this is something I have to do before I put it in the ultrasonic cleaner, so I thought I may as well just keep streaming until I finished it. Scarlet Swordfish, hello, thank you for joining. I really don't like doing ugly bodge wires like this on the outside, but you are a little limited. You're kind of forced into doing it under these circumstances. If it was just something that was like, I was trying to attach it to 5 volts or something like that, I would just steal it from somewhere else. You'd find somewhere else on the board where there was 5 volts and you just join it up. But because it is actually going to a specific pin on the ROM, I'm a little bit limited with what I can do. So, bodge wire it is. All right, well, I think at this particular point in time, I might say my goodbyes to folks. I will do my normal thing where I thank everyone for joining. I thank you all for keeping me company during this time. We've cracked the 3-hour mark, so we've done well there. Thank you everyone for the super chats. Thank you for the likes. Anyone who's here who hasn't done it, please can I just remind you to
Smash that like button.
And once again, yeah, thank you to everyone who joined, and I hope to see you at the next one. I will post updates on this SE30 board on my Facebook page, so please follow it if you haven't. When I post it, you'll see the little thing pop up. Yeah, we're looking pretty good, I'd say. So thank you once again, all. And oh, Mystery Margot, I don't think I said hello to you, so I'm saying hello to you now. So yeah, thank you once again, and have a good rest of evening, morning, afternoon, day, whatever it happens to be in your part of the world. And I hope to see you at the next one. So thanks again, and goodbye.